Hi YouTubers, welcome back. Happy Friday to all. Are you in for a special treat? Well, guess what? Because this topic is going to be on Halloween, one of the most popular holidays across the globe in different cultural aspects. Today's video segment will be consisting of what is Halloween, why we celebrate it, as well as implementing about cultural appropriation, aka my culture is not a costume. The reason for these three topics is because I feel like the month of October, even though we love to celebrate Halloween, however, there are some parts of it that I feel like we all need to discuss and also educate ourselves. During the holiday of Halloween, there are some folks who tend to not realize that wearing a culture as a costume that does not belong to your identity consists to be very cultural appropriating and invoke internalized racism. So it's important that I educate about this topic, especially for this month's holiday. Come along if you dare. Alright, let's get started. Halloween is among the oldest traditions in the world as it touches an essential element of the human condition, the relationship between the living and the dead. The observance evolved from the ancient rituals marking the transition from summer to winter, thereby associating it with transformations, which is still the central theme of this holiday. Countries around the world celebrate Halloween in one form or another. Examples are Mexico's Day of the Dead, aka Dia de los Muertos, China's Tomb Sweeping Day, known as Qingmingjie or Chengming, and Cambodian Ancestral Day of the Dead. Prachomban or Pchomban. Next part we're going to learn about Halloween is the holiday which relates to the Celtic culture. This one's called, well, for starters, there are three ways to say it as through research I've done. This one's either pronounced as Soween, Suwen, or Samhain. So for many of my Celtic friends as well as Celtic YouTubers out there, please feel free to share in the comment section below of how it is pronounced correctly. I am a very culturally linguistic person, so I would love to hear how it actually sounds. The modern day observance of Halloween in countries such as the United States and Canada, where this tradition is most popular, share in this ancient tradition, even though some aspects of the holiday are relatively recent developments and can be traced back to the Celtic festival of Samhain. Halloween traditions in the West date back thousands of years to the festival of Samhain. The name Samhain means summer's end, and the festival marked the close of the harvest season and the coming of winter. The Celts believed that the veil between the worlds of the living and the dead were the thinnest at the time, and so the dead could return and walk where they had before. Now we will introduce of what beliefs are associated to Halloween. On Halloween, when it is believed that ghosts come back to the earthly world, people thought that they would encounter ghosts if they left their homes. To avoid being recognized by these ghosts, people would wear masks when they left their homes after dark, so that the ghosts would mistake them for fellow spirits. On Halloween, to keep ghosts away, people would place bowls of food outside their homes to appease the ghosts and prevent them from attempting to enter. Personal experience, my family does as well because we have house guardian spirits in our home and we do the same thing. Also, we avoid crossing paths with black cats, afraid that they might bring us bad luck. This idea has its roots from the Middle Ages, where many people believed that witches avoided detections by turning themselves into black cats. Next, why do people celebrate Halloween? By the 1920s and 1930s, Halloween had become a secular but community centered holiday with parades and town-wide Halloween parties as the featured entertainment. Between 1920 and 1950, the centuries old practice of trick or treating was also revived. Trick or treating was a relatively inexpensive way for an entire community to share the Halloween celebration. In theory, families could also prevent tricks from being played on them by providing the neighborhood children with small treats. Personally, I celebrate Halloween by enjoying myself of reading my favorite books, horror books, and my all-time favorite Halloween movies. If I have to name a few, Nightmare Before Christmas, Halloween Town, The Corpse Bride, Edward Scissorhands, and Hocus Pocus. Oh yeah, that is my favorite classic Halloween movie. Oh, and if you all didn't know, Hocus Pocus 2 is going to be coming out soon. Finally, we will now be talking about my culture is not a costume and what is cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation definition. Dictionary.com. Cultural appropriation is defined as the adoption or co-opting, usually without acknowledgement, of cultural identity markers associated with or originating in minority communities by people or communities with a relatively privileged status. Need an example of cultural appropriation? I got the video link ready for you in the description box, so please watch that video. My culture is not a costume. In this segment, I won't be talking as much, but I will include a link of an article that was written back in 2019. And this one is an article that really spoke to me, and I think it's important you all read this. Thanks for watching. I hope you all learned something new today, and wishing you all a wonderful, safe, and educated Halloween. Please mask up and social distance if you plan on trick-or-treating or going to a Halloween party. Be sure to give my video a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section below if you celebrate Halloween, and if you do, what activities will you partake in? If you do not celebrate Halloween, which I know most cultures don't, then let me ask you this. Will you share about the My Culture is Not a Costume campaign perspective to communities and educate them about cultural awareness this Halloween? Stay tuned for the next vlog video on National Day of Mourning. Since I already made a video about Thanksgiving last year's vlog, I did mention about National Day of Mourning, so I will definitely go more in depth of this. Plus, I will allow any Indigenous Native Americans to please feel free to chime in the comment section below for the next vlog, so that way they can share with all of us their background knowledge and aspect of their ideology of National Day of Mourning. So this will be a wonderful conversation to engage with. Catch you next time.